There are many technologies that will emerge in the coming decades that will profoundly influence our daily lives. This is MyFixofTech, bringing you the hottest tech innovation straight to your screens. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. And of course, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to keep yourself up to date. Big data refers to a very large set of data or a massive volume of data. Every day we produce a lot of data, such as emails, social media posts, online articles and videos, GPS signals, and more. This dataset is thus big data. Faced with this huge amount of data, we must be able to navigate and process the data. Big data is in fact the ability to process large volumes of information with more and more standard computing means. These volumes of information, or data, are of interest to many sectors such as tourism, commerce, advertising, genetics, astronomy, or human resources. Big data can be considered as the new black gold of the digital age. To manage big data, it is necessary to collect, process, analyze this data, and take all the relevant actions following the analysis of this data. We usually use NoSQL databases that are more efficient than traditional SQL databases. Key value, column, row, table, to process big data. To illustrate big data, we can mention two companies like Uber and Netflix that will select only the right data among the large mass of data. In the future, big data can be used in the medical sector by creating new treatments. In the humanitarian field, it can also be used to manage natural disasters and manage the consequences of war. Big data will of course be used for commercial purposes such as targeting the best of customers for advertisers or offering better promotional offers. Healthcare nanobots. We are living at the dawn of the nanomedicine age. Nanoparticles and nanodevices will soon operate as precise drug delivery systems, cancer treatment tools, or tiny surgeons. And this type of technology is being employed to monitor and care for our health. Tiny microscopic nanobots could theoretically be deployed to scan and monitor our insides to hunt out health problems. They might also be used to repair damaged organs, or carry out intricate and delicate surgery procedures and remove the need for invasive traditional surgery. This could mean less time in hospital, less recovery time, and fewer scars too. In addition, teams are working on nanobots that could change shape, move independently, gather data on the cellular level, and share it, and target specific areas for treatment. If you ask me, I think this is wonderful news, and these new medical advances may not only save lives, they may keep people out of long-term care homes. 3D printing. In recent years, 3D printing has become possible thanks to 3D printers. From a 3D software or a 3D scanner, it is possible to model objects and then print them with a 3D printer. The printing possibilities are immense with a 3D printer. It is practically possible to print all possible forms. The only constraints are the size of the printer and the imagination of the user. The 3D printer can be used in many fields of applications such as industry, robotics, jewelry, medicine, food, fashion, architecture, design, health, aeronautics, and marketing. The use of 3D printers allows you to print all forms of objects that you want. In the aerospace and automotive industry, this 3D printer technology makes it possible to build parts cheaply and save production costs. Cars can even be printed. This is the case of the company Divergent Microfactories, who designed a sports car in 3D printing, which is the bulb. I think that 3D printing is a technological revolution because it revolutionizes the industrial production mode and invents new productions that will build the world of tomorrow. 3D printers are a real technological revolution because they will allow companies to create their products quickly and accurately, and also to individuals to build their own objects and perhaps become architects of their own homes. Plant-based plastics. We have to put an end to single-use plastics. Initiatives are already underway across the US to ban or severely limit their use. Where I live in LA, plastic straws are only given out upon request, and single-use plastic bags have disappeared from grocery stores. But the problem is deep-rooted and deeply ingrained in our consumption economy. I live near the ocean, and the quantity of plastic debris that's visible on an average day is devastating. Plant-based plastics that biodegrade are one palatable solution, as they could, in theory, replace many of the plastic products already in circulation. An Indonesian company called Avani Eco has been making bioplastic out of cassava since 2014. If you ask me, this technology should become a booming sector in the years ahead. But beware, not all bioplastics biodegrade, and the merit of some production techniques is debated. Part of becoming a responsible consumer in the next decade will be knowing the life cycle of the products we choose to buy, from creation to entropy. I know how these emerging technologies is blowing your mind right now, but hold on tight. We will talk about the holy grail for the ultimate clean energy power source in a few minutes. Electric vehicles and self-driving cars. Electrification, autonomous driving, and connectivity are the three factors that will shape the future of the car. That is to say, the autonomous and connected electric car. Electric cars are nothing new. They've been on roads for some time now, and they're only getting better. Car batteries are lasting longer. The charging station infrastructure is growing and self-driving technology is being heavily invested in, meaning it's coming sooner than you'd probably think. Tesla already has a complex autopilot mode that can take over some driving controls, but one day car manufacturers hope to let us go completely hands-free. Driverless cars will also be connected and will have an internet connection. They will be able to inform the user and his passengers, the weather, road traffic, and the formation of a traffic jam. They will also give passengers time, which will be an opportunity for Google and Apple to introduce embedded services like infotainment in self-driving cars. Imagine, you will no longer need to commute to work yourself. Take a nap, relax, let the car do all the work for you. What a great time to be alive. Smart grid. The way our power infrastructure, collectively known as the grid, works now is a troubling holdover from the 19th and 20th century. Power production is still largely centralized and distributed downstream, eventually reaching end users. The problem is that these grids are highly sensitive to fluctuations in usage and output. To make them work reliably, they demand an overproduction of energy. They're prone to attack and they tend to rely on pollution-emitting energy sources. Smart grids are already being rolled out in testbeds in the US and internationally. The concept isn't so much a single technology as a deployment of numerous energies, distribution, networking, automation, and sensing technologies to design a new grid for the 21st century. Smart grids will enable local production of energy down to the household level, which can be fed back into the grid upstream. Sensing technology and more accurate prediction models will fine-tune energy production to avoid overproduction, and better battery will enable storage of renewably sourced energy. The concept even reaches beyond the light socket. As appliances get smarter, the grid may start to automatically signal them to shut off to conserve power. All of this could add up to a huge change in how our power infrastructure functions. According to a study by the Electric Power Research Institute, by 2030, smart grid technologies might help us reduce carbon emissions by 58% compared to levels from 10 years ago. Virtual reality and augmented reality. Progress in virtual and augmented reality has increased their use with the release of many virtual reality headsets. To avoid any confusion between these two technologies, I will recall what virtual reality and augmented reality are. Virtual reality means to create a user immersion in a 3D virtual world in which he can move and interact. Augmented reality is to use the real world to display 2D or 3D information such as images, numbers, and text with which the user can also interact. This augmented reality technology actually superimposes virtual elements to the real world, so the real world is augmented with digital information to provide more detail to the user about his environment. There's also the mixed reality, which is in fact the mixture between the two previous technologies, that is to say between virtual reality and augmented reality, which is reflected in the superposition of digital information such as images, numbers, and text in the real world and the superposition of objects or moving elements. I think that the virtual reality is only at its beginning. For example, the current virtual reality headsets can be bulky to wear, and it is possible that the headsets can be replaced by spectacle lenses. The progress of augmented reality will also accelerate the deployment of this technology, especially augmented reality in smartphones with a 3D camera that will visualize virtual furniture in his living room before ordering or having tailored clothing thanks to the 3D camera of the smartphone. Thus, augmented reality will be more easily adopted than virtual reality because it does not separate the user from the real world. Artificial intelligence. Sure, it may doom us all via any number of sci-fi premises, nuclear annihilation, strategic species eradication, the rise of the robots, but artificial intelligence also might be our best bet computing ourselves out of the grave state we find ourselves in. Microsoft's AI for Earth program is one effort underway to harness the potential of AI for the good of the planet. The program has given more than 200 research grants to teams applying AI technologies to planetary health in one of 4 areas: biodiversity, climate, water, and agriculture. Primitive AI and machine learning algorithms are currently analyzing icy surfaces to measure changes over time, helping researchers plant new forests with precise layouts to maximize carbon sequestration, and enabling warning systems to help stem destructive algae blooms. AI is having an impact on agricultural practices and will soon transform how farming is done in industrialized nations, reducing our reliance on pesticides and drastically lowering water consumption. AI will make autonomous vehicles navigate more efficiently, lowering air pollution. AI is being deployed by material scientists to develop biodegradable replacements to plastics and develop strategies to clean our oceans, which receive some 8 million metric tons of plastics annually. Fundamentally, AI will be the bedrock of our future efforts to undo the damage already done to the planet, while figuring out scalable solutions to sustaining our species' energy, food, and water needs. That, or it'll be our species' probably deserved undoing. Nuclear fusion. Our sun is powered by the fusion of hydrogen nuclei, forming helium. For decades, scientists have been working on harnessing the same process to create sustainable terrestrial power. The effort is extremely compelling from an ecological standpoint because it represents a zero-carbon emission form of energy. Unlike nuclear fission, the process that powers current nuclear plants, fusion does not result in the production of long-lived radioactive nuclear waste. The problem is heat. To generate net positive energy when 2 particles fuse, the reaction has to take place at millions of degrees Celsius. And that means whatever vessel you're using to do the fusing it will melt. The answer is to suspend the reaction in a floating plasma so the extreme heat doesn't touch the chamber, a process researchers believe can be achieved using high-powered magnets. The typical timeline offered for fusion power is 30 years, but a team at MIT working with a new class of magnets believe it can get fusion power into the grid in just 15 years, which would be a huge boon in the fight to slow the planet's warming trend. Which of these emerging technologies are you excited to change the way we live here on Earth? I want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below so I can talk about it with you in the first hour. Man, the future is bright and thrilling. Find out in my related video, New Cool Gadgets You Can Buy on Amazon, Part 3. Let us have another go with these cool and amazing gadgets. Stay connected, stay up to date.